I'm Jason Schulte, and I'm here with the mayor of Reedsburg. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, I'm Dave Estes. Good to be here, Jason. Glad to be a part of this History of South School video.
Right now, we're taking a look at the outside of the building on the south side, and then it'll slowly progress along. But the school was built in 1937 as part of a federal program. Reedsburg was in desperate need of more school space at that time. It is a colonial revival style and served over 250 students a year up until its closure in 2019. And you can see some of that really unique architecture with there we went right into, this is Miss Wisconsin being held in the South School gym.
A lot of history in that gym for sure, between Miss Wisconsin and a lot of dances and proms, and I know there's jump rope for Hart was held there every year. Basketball games galore.
And you get to see a little bit the upper floor of that gym is kind of decorated right now in this with some curtains, but it has a beautiful upstairs. You'll see later in the video. But yeah, Miss Wisconsin, a lot of people don't know, was held here for a couple years in Reedsburg, and gave the opportunity to get Reedsburg some exposure.
I'd imagine that the fact of the building being so nice, especially in that time, it was something that could be held there and show luxury.
Right. Now we move to that'll be the
northeast
side.
Corner.
Yeah, northeast corner. Flagpole there. It's snow covered, but that used to be the playground area, or part of the playground area. And then you're actually coming up upon what would have been the front door at the time, with, again, a lot of unique features, like even just that little window up in that top corner.
Yes, and a lot of that has been covered up and boarded up or whatever over the time and shrunk down, as obviously for energy savings. I know part of the plan for the new development for that would be that the gym windows at least would be opened back up to their original status.
That would be cool.
Kind of like what we're seeing here now.
Yeah, this would have been a historical photo of what it used to look like. Again, that's that south edge, that's southwest edge with those arched doorways. I believe that little outlet there has been removed over the years. I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, this up on the top here. Yeah, I think that's been removed. That's kind of above the library area.
You get to see that the playground was over on this corner. Some teeter-totters sitting there and some swings, and
it was quite the gem of the area for sure. That school was definitely built to last a long time, and obviously it's still standing today and going to be reused instead of tore down. So it tells you how well it was built.
Yeah, we don't build with that kind of construction thoughts in mind anymore.
No, they do not. It's all about cost effective now. But like I say, for us to be here in Reedsburg, we have definitely a gem that we've held on all these years and continue to have now. So, I can just envision kids out there playing in the playground. And back when this picture was taken, I'm sure life was a lot simpler than it is now.
But I bet your kids didn't enjoy school anymore.
No, they probably didn't. They probably were going to sit on that teeter-tot and rather than be inside learning. Back then, the teachers were a little bit more strict, I think.
Yeah, I think we got the tail end of a few of those teachers.
I think you're correct. And another little side note with this, I learned over time here that South School is where meals were they were given there, and they would have to walk from the high school, which was up by St. John's Church, to South School for lunch every day.
And back. Yep.
And back. Yep.
It almost is uphill both ways.
See these windows up here that have the coloring over top of the windows. Those are the windows that future development is going to look to have those windows open back up to let more natural sunlight in.
We were just actually had this plaque in our hands.
Yes, that is going to be preserved here at City Hall in our local history museum.
So this is the front end of the gym, and going up the steps to get to the balcony.
Those closets are pretty neat how they're laid out.
We did shoot this video there was no power to the building, so our lighting does kind of fade in and out at places.
No power and cold.
It was a little cold. You saw the snow on the ground earlier.
But how unique of a gym is this to have a balcony like this? I keep using the movie reference of Hoosiers. It was going to be a pity to see this get torn down, and thankfully, the city acquiring the building, we are going to save the gym and make it a usable area for years and decades and generations to come.
You're looking off this balcony. That's a stage up towards that south end of the gym. But yeah, this was almost structured almost like a venue. Like this
Yes.
is where you would come into doors and go sit and enjoy whatever was going on.
Which is, you can tell, is it was built that way. That is right by the main entrance to the school. Right to the west of that is the entrance to the venue. Yes, you're right. It was the focal point.
Yeah, that was everything took place, I'm sure, in that gym in the early days.
And now we're looking. This would be the north, would be the northwest corner, looking towards the southeast. And you can see how over time it's been changed. But you can see the windows up above the gym here, just behind the tree, how those windows were wide open. There was a little arch at the top. These were all big windows, and these were doors actually that were on the west side that have now been filled in. And it's like a hallway now. Pretty neat how that changed over time.
It is, and how you have to add new changes. That's one of the biggest challenges with this building, was that it just was so hard to keep up with modern technology and modern accessibility
Yes.
needs, and to keep retrofitting it to fit those needs was just becoming a struggle.
To the point where you couldn't even do it anymore. Yeah, it was almost one of them non-compliant, but non-conforming, aged out, but still be able to use. Now we're into the one of the classrooms here.
This would have been on the second story, I believe.
Yes, it is. I think so. Yep.
So this would have been, I think it was the first classroom we came to, and we went in to kind of get an idea of what it looked like to be in that room.
I still wish someone could tell me what those right there, right below next to the right of the door, what those chutes were for. It'd be interesting to find out if anybody could tell us that. I'm still kind of puzzled by that.
This is the hallway then that goes down. There's lockers on the right there, and then the classroom doors are on the left. Do peek in and out of a few of them. As you can clearly see, these were used just a few years ago, and there's still already, challenges just in these classrooms.
Yes. The integrity of the building is starting to come into question. But the developer the city's working with is going to work to preserve that and convert some into apartments and also some office space as well, which would be a neat thing to see change. But yeah, you're right. Every room, it's something had to be done sooner than later.
Heating's always kind of been, the building never got warm, even though there was no heat here. The temperature wasn't terrible inside, but
it's old steam boiler system in this building, and the boilers have been changed out. But obviously, your steam lines have all been dated, and they're old. Not the most efficient way to heat a building, and finally, cost effectiveness came into play, and now we have Prairie Ridge School. But like I say, it's nice to be able to keep this school in another form, but honestly, people that drive by are still going to call it South School.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned this. We're on the second floor, and you mentioned there was a third floor, I believe.
Yes, there is. Yep.
Or maybe we're on the third.
No, this is the second floor. The third floor is not that big. It houses a couple of classrooms, the music room, and then the access to the roof, the mechanicals of the building.
Yeah, it was too cold and too icy for us to access the roof. But
I do got to say, I've been one of the lucky ones with my work. I work for the school district as a maintenance technician. I was able to go up onto the roof and take some pictures. It's quite a ways down. It's over 40 feet to the ground. Pretty neat view from up there.
Not where you go if you're has some anxiety with heights.
You're absolutely right. It's just amazing how classroom sizing has changed over the years. The bathrooms even were a lot smaller. We're coming up on we're in 206. We're definitely on the second floor here. But even back then, there was a lot of thought put into design, and the doors are heavy duty. Everything was built very heavy duty. we haven't mentioned it in the video. This was a fallout shelter. The basement was a fallout shelter during Cold War times. So it tells you how structurally sound the building is.
And how important that
Yes.
it had to the community beyond just the school children. It had that aspect of that fallout shelter, that security blanket in a way that
Yep.
that people could, I've had conversations with my grandfather on the Cold War and the impacts it had on him, and
Sure.
that they listen to news every night, almost dreading that the worst was coming.
They're right, because they didn't have the technology we do back then. They relied on that news at night to know what was going on.
So it was a very real, scary time in our history, and it was important that they got to have that safe space.
I think here I'm showing you the skylights.
Oh yeah.
We're up on the second floor here. Actually, we're up into the third floor. You can see the skylights that used to be up above the ceiling. The ceilings were a lot higher back in the day. Those skylights were obviously, they re-roofed and covered that all up because they had roof leaks. But the cupboards in here, the woodwork in here is amazing, and the cupboard space is amazing. I don't know, this room was dark where we went into the music room, but all the wood shelving here is just immaculate. Yeah, the lighting is pretty terrible when we're in there, but those that have been in the building and are watching this, they can visualize that, and they're just closing their eyes. There it is. You can see it a little bit. I turn my flashlight on for you. How amazing that is.
I had to get to my son that was there. You've seen him a couple times in videos, and he drove a remote control car around in a couple of the dark hallways. So you get to see him go show you that hallway from the remote control car perspective. I
thought that was pretty cool.
The camera's attached to it, so that's just his little Lamborghini car that we attach the camera to, and he'll drive it around.
A very unique perspective.
And you haven't seen this video, so
no, I have not. But it'd be interesting to see how it turned out. You can see the headlights come on. Look at that.
He's not the best driver.
I think he was just learning, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like a perspective of a young child walking down the hallway.
There you go.
Going to a class.
Hopefully with the lights on.
Right?
So yeah, he takes it down the hall a little ways and back, and you get to experience it from that angle.
I know I got quite a few family members that went to school, South School, and always talk about how much they loved the school. A great pride in that school. I know the people that live in District 4, that's the area of the city that is, and that's their treasure there. And I know people are really happy to know that the building is going to remain. And the video that we are commenting on here is going to be a grand finale of before it gets torn down, which I'm really happy about. I know you are too.
Yes, I am. It's good that we've done that historically in this community. We had the brewery. Mm-hmm. It was in danger of being torn down. We found a way to make it reusable. We had the old hospital that, again, if it hadn't been used at some point, it was just going to have to be torn down. And luckily, we've been able to find people that are passionate enough about these properties that they find new uses for them. It's not always popular, but
no, you're right.
But it's better than being torn down.
And with this aspect of it being the city being the new owner now, I think that it's been really a positive note that I've noticed from people that they're obviously people are inquisitive, wondering what we're going to do. But I think once people see the final result, and once I tell people the main thing for the city is that we wanted to maintain the gym, they're ecstatic about that. I mean, people that know the building know that is the key to the whole building is the gym.
Yeah, and you have a slight bias, but I'll say it as a citizen and as a council member that the partnership between the school and the city has always been vital to our community, and them working with us to get the city this property instead of other alternatives that wouldn't have been maybe near as good is very important, and that we continue to have these relationships with the schools and the community and in the city.
It's been
vital.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you talk about the bias, but I think it's opened my eyes more to see how well the school district and the city work together. Definitely.
This is just a fenced off window on the stairs. It was kind of funny to see.
I think we're on the first floor now. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're on the first floor. Yeah, it's kind of a unique. Some of the building, the first floor windows, you basically could almost open the window and walk right out. There's the fallout shelter sign that you were mentioning.
And even those fixtures are
Yes.
unique to this building.
And if those are going to be removed at any at all, we're going to definitely try to make sure we preserve at least one of those for sure.
And here you can kind of see those windows too that were boarded up over time.
Yeah, I just wonder the thought process of that too. You see that quite a bit with old buildings where they start to board them up, and over time people realize, boy, it'll look a lot nicer like it was intended to be.
Yeah.
That's why they did that. But we're looking at all these different doors, and it continues to baffle me how much the design was a major thing back when this was built, and this was definitely built to be the creme of the crop and also to last a lifetime, and it definitely has.
This was the old office, I believe.
Yes, it is. Yep.
So we're just trying to get a little bit of light in there because that was another hub of this school, was that office and the staff.
Although I think you're going into the principal's office, we can't quite. It's just a little dark, but yeah. Obviously, this wasn't where the original principal's office probably was, but after they remodeled and closed off closed off the stage, they added more classroom space, and obviously over time things have changed over time, and the need for a stage wasn't like it used to be. Now we're in the library.
Yes.
A little story I can tell you about the library is when we swing around here. I mean, how neat! First of all, they have a fireplace in the library, and they use that. Right to the right here, hey buddy. Right to the right here of the building or of the room, there used to be a loft there that had steps that went up to it, and children would get their book and climb up onto the loft and read. How cool would that be to have that natural wood heat creeping up into that loft and be able to read?
I think you were showing
how tall
hard to tell,
the ceilings were. Yep.
This was behind the stage.
Yeah, this would be behind the stage. It's a classroom now, but it was would have been behind the stage. The one thing that will change with we're not in the gym and you're actually down in the basement, kind of the wet basement. That's something that's going to have to be addressed with new ownership as well. But we're looking at the boilers of the building, and the water mess. And, looking straight ahead, that's actually underneath the gym there. Those little crawl spaces would go underneath of the gym. That's no place I think I would rather. I don't want to go there. But speaking of the gym, I mean, we're going to have to change the flooring in that. The wood floor took a hit. It had a little bit of a water leak over time when it was empty. We'll work on some type of a program for people to be able to come pick up some of that wood floor when it gets taken out. I talked to the administrator, and that'll be something we'll figure out. Oh, now
This is the art room, the old art room.
Yeah, now we're downstairs. Yep, in the basement.
It was a strange decision to put the art room in the basement with not a lot of natural light. But
that is kind of an odd situation. And showing the old heat, being up above your head there in that room, heat rises, so it didn't make much sense back in the day, but they did what they had to do.
Still a nice space.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Might not have the light you want, but certainly had the space the kids need to be able to do their work.
And now we're getting into that basement that is structurally sound as it could possibly get. It's like the walls are like 2 feet thick in this basement. And a lot of the basement rooms where you use this storage, now we're as a kitchen. We're in the pine room now is what they called the cafeteria. The pine room, and straight ahead of us, with the lighting's not there, but straight ahead of us is where the fireplace is. That hadn't been used for quite a long time, but I actually found one of the old andirons from that fireplace, and that'll be on display here as well at City Hall once Jason gets that display figured out.
Yeah. Well, just a little bit of time.
That's right.
These are, again, the video doesn't really give you justice of what that room felt like to be in that room, and you know, you could almost hear the kids chattering.
Absolutely. Oh, now these are the steps up to the what would have been the stage, that was all blocked off and partitioned off. At some point, there's some of the old floor you got from the stage. Yeah, so behind that would be classrooms now, but that, like I said, that was the stage.
And this wall used to have a climbing wall on it for kids.
Yes, I'm not sure where that got moved to, but one of the other schools got that climbing wall.
Just another perspective of that gym and that light shining through there is, I mean, it's incredible now. Just if they open that up, it'll be
even more so.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it's a very unique, tall gymnasium. The lighting is immaculate, though. Natural lighting. We don't have any lights on here. Obviously, look how bright it is. But yeah, it's an amazing building, and I'm glad that, like I keep saying, I'm glad that we're able to do something with the building to make sure it remains here for generations to come.
All right. Well, thanks for watching our video, and hope you enjoyed this dark sneak peek of what used to be South School.
We'll have to do a little bit of a rundown once it gets transformed, too.
Yeah, I think we should do another follow-up video.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Jason.
Of course.